Welcome back, everybody. There's a bit of news that just came down just now. The Rangers traded Pavel Buchnevich to the Blues for Sammy Blais and a second-round pick. More news is coming in right now as we speak. Still trying to figure out. I'm trying to react to this trade. I know a lot of Ranger fans are very upset, and even though I predicted this move was going to happen, I didn't think it was going to be for a Blais is a good fourth line player, but I mean, to be trading him for Buchnevich is still a surprise to me. So I'm still trying to figure out that one. We're looking into where this is going to go next. Twitter sphere is going absolutely bonkers right now. And I'm getting the share screen on there. Share screen. Chrome tab, Twitter. We're going to go to our friend Stepway Steven, who said, look, I get wanting to move on from Buchnevich, but you can't afford to give him a huge contract right now. They want to commit money elsewhere, but you have to trade him in August if that's the case, not the day of the draft. And they're only getting back really a 2022 pick. I don't know if that means they're going to parlay it or what. If there's more coming right now, it's going to be interesting. Oh, I should have actually put up the shared screen on that. That's what Stapway Steven's saying right there. Just even scrolling through this, you could just see Chris Drury right now is being raked over the coals at the moment. Again, it's although here's Kevin Delury. He says develop. I hate seeing him go. Having said that, Blais. Well, that's the thing too. Ranger fans, we've been talking about that we need to get tougher, and they are getting Sammy Blais in this. I think I'm still trying to process this. I'm sorry, everybody. It's I don't know whether or not it's a good trade or not, but I'm willing to see where this goes. So it's more news is coming. We're going to find out more about this shortly. Buch has been a good player for the Rangers for years. I have maintained you have to end up playing Krasov more. You have to end up finding a spot for Kakko. And Buch's contract was going to be a problem in the future. Not in love with this trade, but let's see where it goes. So hopefully we got some more news tonight. We're expecting John to do a live draft. Hold on, I got some comments right here, and they're not going to be good. I already know that. Yeah, Matt. I mean, that's again, it's not quite a Vancouver situation just yet, but yeah. And it's oh, hold on. I'm going to actually get some of our guys in at the moment because Anthony wants to jump on in here. Hold on. This is what happens when you try to go. So Anthony's getting on in here right now. Sammy Blais was a fourth liner with a heavy shot that helped the St. Louis Blues win the Stanley Cup in 2018 or no 2019. 2019 Stanley Cup. And he's a player the Rangers could use. For Buchnevich, I don't know. That's a great question. We're going to find out about that. So pissed. I understand why they traded him. Just a horrible return. We don't need more picks. Well, that is a good question. And I just wonder whether or not they're going to parlay that as part of the Eichel deal. Like if they're going after Jack, I think they're going after Jack Eichel still. I don't think they need him, but if they want to upgrade their second line center, that's what they're going to do with that. It's again, it's one of those things. This is almost sort of similar to the to when JD got fired, and I was trying to make sense of that on the spot. But then taking a step back, you're able to look, and yeah. But here now, I gotta address this. Technically speaking, Buchnevich wasn't signed, so and you don't have to worry about the cap until then. And right now, joining me is Anthony Larocco, who was laughing when we found out about the Buchnevich trade a month ago. Anthony, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, the Buchnevich is a 25 goal guy. I thought that if he was going to get traded, I thought he would have been involved in a Jack Eichel trade. Obviously, it's not the case anymore. I think Drury sold low there. I mean, Sammy Blais, he's a good bottom six guy. He's not like a tough or physical player, but he's a good bottom six player. And then the second round pick is what it is. Second round pick's nothing to scoff at. But I just think he could have done better on this trade. I mean, he had one more year RFA status. He could have re-signed him, and then you held on to him or traded at the deadline or traded next year to trade him for what he got. I just think it's unacceptable. And now the Rangers just lost, like I said, a 25 goal scoring winger. So
again, like I said, for the roles that needed to be cleared up, because it's either you're moving Kravtsov or you I'm not sure, by the way, Rich, but I hope it's not going to be the case. Of a Rick Middleton. Hopefully it's not that it's going to blow up that badly. But again, this is where the Twitter sphere, Mike, by the way, welcome back. It's blowing up, and it is blowing up bad on Chris Drury, but it's just I don't know. There's got to be a bigger picture in this, and there's still what are we at? We're at 3 more hours till the draft. So even though I kept on joking around, going 4 more hours until Buffalo messes this up, it's just I don't know. Maybe the Rangers already did, but you guys could keep on commenting on what you think about this trade. It does put Kravtsov on the top line, or Kakko, one of them. We'll see exactly what Gerard Gallant has in store for this. Keep in mind, Gerard Gallant made the Stanley Cup Finals with and that's the thing. Something's up. Gerard Gallant made the Stanley Cup Finals with a top line of John LaMarche, Riley Smith, and William Karlsson. And never mind that he got a 29-goal season at Eric Holla. So is this also a little input possibly from Gallant to say, go get me this guy? Or, I mean, I agree with our esteemed co-host, Mr. John Filkowski, who right now is going off about this.
Quick change of direction here, because it was just finalized and it's a really big trade. Figured I'd mention it. The Coyotes have just traded Connor Garland and Oliver Ekman-Larsson to Vancouver for the 9th overall pick, Louis Eriksson, Antoine Roussel, and Jay Beagle, all going to Arizona. And you want to talk about you want to talk about a bad trade. I mean, ninth overall pick, good piece. They might get Kent Johnson, who we talked about yesterday in our chat a little bit. He's probably going to be a phenomenal player. But, I mean, Louis Eriksson's on a terrible contract. They've been trying to dump him for a while. Jay Beagle, he's a formidable third, fourth line player. Roussel's like a Cal Clutterbuck type player, instigator, shit stirrer. That's not for trading 2 upper echelon guys in OEL and Garland. That's not really that good.
Mike's asking this one. Arizona wasn't banned from picking in the first round. They just lost their first round pick, I believe.
Yeah, they forfeited their first round pick, the 11th overall.
Yeah. All right. But I don't. And by the way, again, if I'm the Rangers, I stay far away from Evgeny Kuznetsov. So again, this is all still coming in, and we're only doing a quickie because I gotta go and get some dinner before my shift tonight. But again, all right. So Anthony, I made fun of the Islanders. What do you got?
No, I'm just still shaking my head about that Arizona deal, but go on.
Yeah, well, at least the Arizona deal makes ours look a little bit better. So, Joe Fortunato, the Rangers could have easily traded Buch for a hell of a lot more at the deadline if they chose to. So this is just a cat move. And if it isn't, it's an enormous red flag on Drury. We'll know more about this in a minute. I mean, after all, right now it's good. One good trade, one bad trade, as far as the fans are concerned. But they gave up 11th. Yeah, they gave up an 11th overall as a punishment and wound up getting 9th. Yeah, I mean, it cost them a pretty good defenseman and a very good winger. So we're going to see about that. Yeah. But Anthony, when Tavares left for Toronto and Lou made all the decisions to bring in Komarov, to bring in Matt Martin, I kind of joked around and said, you know, the Islanders got the best fourth line in hockey. They got 3 of them. And now look at what they did the last 3 years. So could this be just strengthening the bottom 6 is really just the way to go?
Part of it, I agree with. Know where you're going with. I think the issue for the Rangers is that like Tavares left as a free agent. Like Buchnevich was under team control still. They didn't have to move him right now. And also too, I mean, Sammy Blais, he's like I said, he's a good bottom 6 player, but he doesn't really bring the grit that you'd want from a bottom 6 player. And you know, he's not overly physical either. So he will help. He's an upgrade over, you know, in my opinion, he's an upgrade over guys like, you know, Rooney, who were really AHL tweeners before this year. But I just think they could have went better ways of doing it. They could have signed another bottom 6 player in free agency. I don't know if they had to sacrifice a score in Buchnevich to get that type of player.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to do 2 things right now. I'm going to bring in, and we know he's chomping at the bit, Mr. John Polkowski right now. And also, Vinny, I believe this might be your first one. Hi, big Ranger fan here. Looking for some good support on this trade. Yeah, Vinny. I don't know if I'm going to get the support group. Yeah, we're definitely a support group. Sorry, I thought you were looking for support. John, the floor is yours. Your thoughts on this trade. Go.
Let him go because he's going to be fired up.
Just bad. This has been coming for a long time. I know I've tweeted it out. I know I think I've even said it in a group text. But the minute that Chris Kreider was signed to his extension, Pavel Buchnevich was the odd man out. And it's not even just that. You took Jacob Trouba, you traded for him, and he only wanted to be in New York because his girlfriend is doing his residency here. She's working in the medical field. I believe she's going to be a doctor. But you bid against yourself for Jacob Trouba after this was the only place he wanted to go. So instead of giving him $6.5 million, or keeping him around where he was, you gave him $8 million. You overpaid him. You overpaid Chris Kreider to stay here when he didn't fit a rebuild at 29 years old. You gave him a no movement clause. You had all of these other things that you could have flipped Kreider for draft picks and then taken those draft picks and flipped them for another player that would have fit the roster. But no, you went and you gave him a no movement clause. And you forced the team, you forced the next general manager to have to turn around and salary dump like this at a Pavel Buchnevich. And Chris Drury is also to blame because he's a rookie GM. He didn't have to make this deal right now. He didn't.
That's what I just said.
because he thought he was going to get a first-round pick probably tonight for him. And he probably could have. And that would have been better off than Sammy Blais and a second. Because now the only way you can save this night, if you're Chris Drury, is if you get Eichel for the cheapest possible package and you don't give up anything. Let's just say you give him for Ryan Strome, FIlip Chytil, a first-rounder, and one of Zachary Jones or Matthew Robertson, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Only way to save your night if you're Chris Drury. And if you overpay and bid on Jack Eichel, you screwed the pooch. And now if you don't get Jack Eichel, you've definitely screwed the pooch. You've absolutely botched this whole thing up. And it's terrible. It's a joke. You should have never done this deal, this trade. And not only that, but I was saying how he lost on Barclay Goodrow on three fronts, about how he lost on Barclay Goodrow, about giving him the high AV, because if you wanted the high AV, then you don't give him the term. If you wanted to give him the longer term, you don't give him the higher AV. If you want to give him both, you don't give him no trade protection. And what did Chris Drury do? Another rookie mistake, and gave him all three. All three. So Chris Drury is doing a bang-up job of absolutely screwing up everything that's in front of him so far.
He's actually a host more than
yeah.
Phil, if you want to feel better, I just told Mark what the return was on that Coyotes trade, and the Coyotes just traded OEL and Garland for Louis Eriksson, who they've been trying to trade for years. Terrible captain. Yeah, Antoine Roussel, who's just like a pest, and Jay Beagle. I mean, they got a 9th overall pick, but that's pretty bad too. So I don't know if that makes you feel any better, but that's bad.
Here's the thing. Pavel Buchnevich, even though he's a restricted free agent right now without a contract, still has team control. He still has team control. He still has the ability to be under their rights, and you can take him and sign him to a deal. So you have their rights. So I don't understand what Chris Drury was doing with that. Like, that's a rookie mistake.
Like, I'm trying to reason this right now. And the reason I threw in our group chat was there's still the priority of getting tougher in the bottom six. Okay, Blais, I agree with you. I would have looked more at Rob Thomas or what was the other name?
Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah, Jordan Kyrou. But and then if you take that pick and then parlay it into the Eichel trade now, that'll help. I've said before, the Rays give up to first.
Sammy Blais is not someone that you go trading Pavel Buchnevich for. And the second round pick does nothing for this team at the time. The mandate is to win now, right? To win sooner than correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. So then why are you trading your top right winger for a second round pick that isn't going to help you anytime soon and a bottom plug?
Does the RFA status play into this?
Yes, it does, but you still have to get more than that. Restricted without contracts have been traded for more than this. And if Rasmus Ristolainen, I understand that Fletcher is a dumbass. We all knew this from his time in Minnesota. We don't really even need to go into that. But Buchnevich is overrated garbage. Am I reading that right? Or
yeah, that's actually what that said.
I
just went out. Oh no, it's probably on your end, Goldberg.
Ranger fan can say Pavel Buchnevich is gone. Did you watch that TV line at all? Did you see who carried that line through the first half of the season? Like, what is that post? What is that post?
I mean, I don't know. That's a new one to me because I don't know about overrated garbage, but
I've never seen that person before either, and I wonder what that person is watching.
Well, it's just their opinion, so we'll go with that from there.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Again, I was talking to NYR Mike last night because he came down at the bar. It's just I think they could have gotten more out of this deal, but I think we got to let this one play out, guys. We could first guess it and we could get back the tape and you could tell me I told you so. But
the only way this works is if they get on. You have to.
No.
yeah,
You cannot dump. You can't dump a salary dump out of your best right winger, a guy who's the play driver top line, and get Sammy Blais second round pick back for him. Like
what this deal does for St. Louis now too is it gives them the replacement for Tarasenko. Now the Blues could probably go trade Tarasenko and have someone that just slits right in his spot.
How good is Pavel? Like, honestly, if you want, check the analytics on Pavel Buchnevich. The eye test should speak enough. I really shouldn't have to go too far into this, but the analytics speak volumes because Mika Zibanejad dragged ass for the good portion of a season. And Pavel Buchnevich was the team's most consistent player at both ends of the ice on a night-to-night basis for the entire season and was nearly a point-per-game player and became one of the better penalty killers in the entire league. So if you want to know how good Pavel Buchnevich is in an honest perspective, yeah, that's how good he is.
so
To score at a point per game almost, I don't know. But if he's a 60-point two-way player that's an upper echelon penalty killer, you can't go dumping that off for one.
by the way, Mario asked if they can actually offer sheet him. That usually doesn't happen, and I can't even.
If it's taken to arbitration, then that's a no.
Yeah, the teams usually don't trade for somebody and then go get that. So I forgot.
Well,
I don't know if that's technically in the CBA. Anthony?
I think overall, the Rangers, like you have to move on from this now and hope Drury has a plan because, as of this very moment, they lost like I said, a 25-goal guy, and they haven't done anything yet to replace him. So we'll see. It's off season is just beginning, but at the very surface, Drury's 0-1 here. So just got to call it like it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to still catch up on the news, but I mean, there's now 3 hours and 3 minutes until the draft starts, and Phil will be hopefully doing the draft coverage tonight.
Yeah, I'll probably go on around 7. There's a bunch of news to recap. I did a mock draft with the Rangers picking, so that's provided just to kind of. I still think that they're trading that pick, but yeah, we're going to definitely streaming more and tune in. Like I said, tune in around 7 tonight, everybody. I'll be live streaming this. I've got a mock draft ready that I did. I'll be recapping the trades, the other trades across the NHL as well. We'll talk more Rangers, and I'll do Q&A too before the draft starts. So,
yeah, we got it scheduled. Right now, I had it scheduled for 8, but he can always just click it and go on early, so that's a great thing. I love that move about doing that, and you're gonna get Phil's opinion on everything because just wow. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out. But I do have to say this. They were talking about that Vancouver was interested but not giving up a roster player. That Nashville's offer, you were saying, John, probably wasn't as good as Vancouver's. And by the way, Dean, hey, good to see you again from Greece. It's, I mean, I'm trying to put heads or tails on this. Like, were the offers just not great for Buchnevich? They weren't going to get any better.
You know what? I happen to feel that Vancouver's probably was better. I think Drury got blinded by the whole grit thing, and I think that's the directive from Dolan above, because obviously the Barclay Goodrow just they gave in to every demand that he had, and Drury didn't win on any of the 3 fronts, like I said before. So I honestly think that Blais was somebody that they were targeting.
No.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the good. So really, Drury's 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say 1-2 because he did get a win out of that Brett Howden trade. The fact that he got anything for Brett Howden more than future considerations or just a 7th round pick is just phenomenal.
And again, like I was saying with Anthony, we're crushing this move right now, but also keep in mind, Gallant got a 29 goal season out of Eric Halla, so it's possible. It's possible that that they're coveting. They're trying to build up their bottom. Again, I'm trying to make heads or tails out of this too.
You're right. They are trying to build up that bottom 6. It's just you have to go about it in different ways. If you wanted to go get Sammy Blais, go get Sammy Blais. I would have had no problem with them turning around and saying, hey, we'll give you a 3rd round pick and Lauri Pajaniemi for Sammy Blais. I know that would piss off some of the other fans, most notably probably wouldn't have been a fan of that deal, but I would understand that. But Buchnevich for Blais in a second is just it's unacceptable unless they get Eichel. They have to get Eichel now because that's a salary dump. That's what that is. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah. Anthony, you got any more news right now?
Well, just the Coyotes trade. Pierre LeBrun says the Blackhawks are grinding away trying to get Seth Jones. So watch out for that. And our boy Dave Pagnotta said that the Avalanche and Landeskog still have nothing going on. They're not any closer, and things are actually quiet on that front. So those are kind of like the 3 latest things.
Yeah, I saw a comment from one of our viewers below that said, I think it was Chris Frost that said could be moving Kreider to the right side and go get Scott. I doubt it. Need center depth. I think obviously the iron has been hot on Ryan Strome, so they're gonna go do that. Probably they'll probably trade him. Maybe he gets dealt in a different deal to get more capital for Eichel, but I highly doubt right now that they would go get Landeskog because it just makes no sense considering they just moved a winger to try to clear up a logjam.
Yeah, I gotta agree because again, the whole reason why I was saying this trade was going to happen was because Kravtsov is knocking at the door, and everybody's been salivating over what he's doing. You have Lafreniere and Kakko, guys that are going to be real good, and you still got Artemi Panarin. There's your top 6. It's just who's going to be that second line center? Is it Ryan Strome or is it going to be someone else? Because it doesn't have to be Jack Eichel. You can go get someone else. It's just.
I wonder who else is available, really. I mean, it's Sam Reinhart, but are you really going to go get Sam Reinhart and hope to God that for the marginal upgrade that Sam Reinhart is over Ryan, that he has chemistry with Artemi Panarin?
There was a good question that was in here. Dean asked it. It was what other centers can you see the Rangers going after that is an Eichel? And I don't see any in the free agent market that's really appealing. And I don't see I don't know on the trade market unless somehow they find a way to go and like pluck Mark Scheifele out or something like that because that's my pipe dream. That's a pipe dream.
You love him.
I love Mark Scheifele.
You do love Mark.
Yeah.
But the only other thing I could see is if Philip Deneau's asking price was down towards $4 million, I could see the Rangers going after him and saying, hey, we want you to be a middle 6. Because that would make sense.
That would make sense.
Yeah, Deneau could be on the radar possibly for sure.
By the way, hi again, Mike. This is not going to be the worst trade of the pre-draft because again, the guy we're all talking about all in this entire thing is Rasmus Ristolainen generating the conversation. I think for the most part because
this is just bad. It's close though.
Yeah,
it's close.
Yeah.
I don't know how you gave up a first-round pick for an analytics dumpster fire like Rasmus Ristolainen. Like that's like willingly eating a double-decker shit. Why?
Just
with avocado on it.
Just ex Rasmus Ristolainen about how he feels about Matt Barzal.
I don't need to ask Rasmus Ristolainen about how he feels about Matt Barzal. I could ask Rasmus Ristolainen about how he feels about playing defense, and his answer was no.
What is this defensive zone you speak of? I forget where his accent is. So, I mean, I don't want to do that. And my phone's all of a sudden blowing up. I'm trying to see whether or not there's any other news going on.
Yeah, Coyotes, I think, retained 1.25 million per year on OEL's deal.
Wow.
But
and by the way, we got a lot of first timers in on this. So, Ariana, of course, welcome back. Yeah, I'm still saying trust Drury on this one. That's actually what Alyssa's saying. See, didn't we trade a second round pick to Detroit to take Stahl? And then I think that was the second round from this year. Oh, hey guys, we got a new one from Spain. But wish it was under better circumstances, though. It's that's a rough one.
I'm always happy to see new viewers, but I'm sorry if I'm not the greatest spirits, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just so the Flyers overpaying for Ristolainen. Is that what's changing our ideas or our thoughts on this?
I like the fact that it's a second in 2022. I really do, because the 2022 draft is a much better draft than this draft. This draft is just not – it's not good. It's been lauded as one of the worst in recent memory. But that pick doesn't help this team out anytime soon for a team that has a win now mandate. So this leads me to believe that this is absolutely a salary cap or a salary dump. It's got to be. Got to be. You don't do that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, I don't know why you traded Buchnevich for a guy like that. Like Phil said, if you want to go get Sammy, just trade a middling prospect and like a third or fourth if you want him. I don't think this was the right move. I also wonder if there was any talk of doing a Buchnevich for Tarasenko straight across, but I guess St. Louis probably didn't want to retain any salary.
And I definitely wouldn't think about moving to get Tarasenko. Moving a top 6 forward for even a first. Yeah, I would say call Fletcher to see if we can get Couturier from him.
He's not giving up Couturier.
No. Hey, we got another one, Germany. We are going global with this baby.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got Greece, we got Germany. We have Blue Shirt hasn't been in from Australia in a while. So
you wanted the commenter from Germany wanted Draisaitl, but that
good luck with that. And
I think farm for that one.
Well, he did say his dream trade was that, so it's perfectly fine. Is a hockey second round pick like a football second round or a basketball second round pick? Closer to a football. It's basketball second round picks you never hear from.
Second round picks are pretty valuable in hockey. I mean, they're valuable.
Second round are valuable. But don't get me wrong. It's a second round pick is nice, but the problem with the second round pick next year is that with Buchnevich. All right, so the only thing with this, actually, now that I think about it, that if St. Louis doesn't go and make some serious additions, they could end up being a middling team that possibly misses the playoffs, especially in that division. So, I mean, a second-round pick, better draft next year, middle of the round, is actually not terrible, but you need more with that to make this trade worthwhile and to convince people that it's anything other.
Larry Brooks says, and now I lost them. Great. This is what the Rangers were and are going to have to do: exchange top 6 talent for a bottom 6 grind or top 6 grinds. This has been obvious since the bubble debacle. So,
yeah, I mean, they got smacked around in the bubble against Carolina, and then the game, Islanders, the Penguins, and the Bruins at the end of the season were just a trip. And part of that is the coach was a clown show, and couldn't get these guys up to play. But the general manager didn't do anything to skill and grit in the bottom 6, and that's really what this comes from. And the Tom Wilson incident and everything like that. You didn't have anything to answer. Now they have Sam. I get it. There's Goodrow, there's Blais, Rooney. Just I get why, but to the extremes that they went to, it's literally Tom Wilson living in their head. Right?
Well, that's actually where Brian was going on that. Is that the Tom Wilson effect? And we were talking in our Q&A. They gotta get past this. They gotta get past the Tom Wilson stuff. I mean, it's not gonna help. And like I said before, it's just gonna. This is why the NHL needed to govern their sport better. They created an arm race, and now look what happens. So it's just making me shake my head repeatedly. It's making me shake my head.
Well, I mean, we'll have to see how the rest of the night plays out. But I mean, like I said, at first glance, it's definitely not a good trade. You know, they let a 25 goal guy go for, you know, not much right now. So now Drury has to replenish that. So, but like I said, there's a lot of off-season left. The night's still young, so we'll have to see what happens. But I'm going to sign off here. I got to start preparing for my game later and take care of some other things. So, Phil, have a good show later. Wish I could be on for you, but I need to help the boys get to the championship. So
yeah, I got just about a couple more minutes too. But Anthony, by the way, Steven, okay, he's gone. But Steven, you're right about that. The Islanders pushed around the Rangers too.
Yeah,
so
I've said this before that this is a culmination of things going back to the Carolina playing series. You got smacked around in that series. They didn't have the depth. Jesper Fast right off the bat getting absolutely crushed by Brady Shea was a really a huge like backbreaker for them. I don't like this at all. I understand you have to go get grit. Barclay Goodrow, I could deal with that contract. I could deal with it. If that's what it took, then yeah, I can deal with that. But this trade, and unless Eichel is coming, and I have a feeling he is. So
what if he's trying to create like an effect of a third of the Yanni Gourde line? But the problem is they don't have a Yanni Gourde.
They don't. That's the biggest thing. When you have a player like that can run around against lesser competition on those lines, those other two guys can go and have those types of. Yes, Buchnevich is a third-round pick. I get that. He was the pick that actually came back in the Rick Nash trade. I've mentioned that on here before. But the problem with it is that you have a win-now mandate from your owner. And that's clear as day after these signings in this trade. So you can't go and trade your best player for futures and not have this deal lead into something else. So that's why I've got a firm belief that Jack Eichel will be a Ranger by the end of this night. Now I just kind of wonder if they're going to overpay to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on record. The guy that I don't want to give up is Lundqvist, and Krasov, and they're not gonna get better deals than those. I'm willing to part with Matthew Robinson. I'm willing to part with Zach Jones. I mean, and Sean, I think you're right. Eichel's got to be coming over. Now it's just Fox was a second round pick too, Ariana, but it's that
Fox was a third
rounder. Okay, even better. So again, even though, and by the way, we got 81 people on right now, and it figures this is the way my life works. I have to sign off because now I have to get ready for work. But it's just it's us shaking our heads around this. Could we possibly, by the way, be overvaluing Buchnevich a little bit too much on this?
I mean, that's fans, yeah, sure, but I mean,
after what he's developed into,
what are you going to trade a near point per game player? That's a never. I'm with you, Nombre. I'm scared on that move too. I really am because he looks like a rookie GM right now. He really does. But would you really trade? Here's a question: would you trade a top line winger, a legitimate top line winger that's near a point per game and a good penalty killer, for that? Because I wouldn't. And if that's the deal, you've got to find a way to make that happen. Otherwise, Like you've got to go to Vancouver and say, hey, you're giving me the ninth, and you're giving me some no-name prospect that has little chance of making the NHL. Fine, I'll take it. And I'll part Kakko trade.
Well, again, we're gonna see how this plays out, and even if Jack Eichel isn't coming, I'm putting my faith first and foremost in Gerard Gallant. I believe he can make the most out of the players anyway. So we'll see whether or not this trade works out for the Rangers, or if it doesn't. Obviously, you guys are already putting your comments down below, and we're getting a lot of new people. Feel free to like and share and subscribe, and disagree with me as much as you want. I am a little bit numb right now, and it's not even that I didn't predict this was going to happen. I've been doing it since January. It's just I wasn't sure it was going to end up like this. There's an end game here. Is it going to be Eichel in the end? So I think it very well might be now, and I kind of reserved myself to saying that they were going to do that.
You want some new rumor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Per Frank Saravalli on Daily Faceoff, the Carolina Hurricanes are working to move Jake Bean. And Jake Bean was a former first-round pick, good young puck-moving defenseman with a lot of promise. They've been looking to move him since the expansion draft. The asking price on him is, funny enough, a second-round pick, which they just got in the Pavel Buchnevich trade. So, Chris Drury, if you're listening, go take that second-round pick. Go get Jake Bean and go put him in that Jack Eichel trade so you don't have to move other pieces. So you can hold on to Braden Schneider and Vitaly Kravtsov and Nils Lundqvist and all those other guys, because that can help you win. That can help you win this night.
All right.
And
that's why we always need to listen to him for my Philkin opinion.
Yeah, and no hard feelings, of course, but I can't agree with you on Pavel Buchnevich. I can't. I don't know how anyone can say he's overrated.
But that's okay. We know nobody's going to agree with us 100% of the time.
Yeah,
that would be a very boring podcast.
I don't want an echo chamber. Don't get me wrong. I want people to challenge me. I want people to come out and trash me. I'll be the bad guy. I will be the heel in wrestling. I mean, if anybody's listening, I'll Ric Flair. I will Ric Flair all day. Woo! Right in all of your faces. Say there ain't gonna. You're right.
Yeah. Well, again, John, I'm actually gonna sign us off now, only because I gotta get dinner and you gotta get ready for the broadcast tonight.
Yeah.
So again, everybody, thank you very much for joining us, especially all the newcomers that were here today. Look forward to it the next time. We're going to be doing Free Agent Frenzy definitely on Wednesday, where we might be broadcasting another full show on Tuesday. So we're going to be seeing about that one. And I know I was waiting for what John was going to say. But again, we've been doing this. We do a Q&A afterwards, and we go for a while. So you know what? That's going to be the question of the night. Where does Jack Eichel land? And
Tune in to the entry draft and tune in to us at 7. Like I said, I'm coming on at 7. I will do a mock draft that I have with the Rangers pick. I will also be doing Q&A and be doing the other trades across the league and doing any other rumors and news that come.
All right. And again, everybody, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Keep tuning in for us and hit that subscribe button. We'll see you soon.